I'm Gun.
We are from Group 6. Today we are making a video about terrorism, and we have a case study from Paris terrorist attack which happened in November 2015.
Is the creation of the fear and by the group of people and states, especially with the fearful action, including the use of violence and also the intimidation, especially with the against of civilian rights and human rights. And they also have their goal is to achieve their short-term and long-term goals, such as ideological, political, and religious goals. And about their characteristic is they focus on what they believe, like the religious, and moreover, they are not fear with the death. Yes, about their financial support, they are mostly their financial support from the doing business in the black market, kidnapping, ransom, or robbery. What is the most important point is that some of the terrorist groups are backing up by the powerful states, and about their location is flexible. It means that their location is free mobile, so it is hard for the counter-terrorist group to deal with.
One well-known case about terrorism in European region is the Paris terror attack. This terror attack occurred on November 13, 2015, which caused a serious casualty of 129 deaths and 368 wounded. This terror act was carried out in 6 different locations across Paris.
This location is at a sports stadium called Stade de France, where 3 explosions occurred, which killed 4 people, including 3 suicide bombers and 1 passerby. The second location is at a Cambodian restaurant called Le Petit Cambodge and a bar called Le Carillon, where 15 people were killed. The third location is at Café Bombier. 5 people were killed in a gunfiring outside this coffee shop. The fourth location is at a restaurant called La Belle Equipe. Gunmen fired their guns on people sitting outside the restaurant and killed 9 people. The fifth location is at a restaurant called Comme Hotel. There was a suicide bombing, which injured many people inside and outside this restaurant. And the last location is at Bataclan, which is a concert hall. While there was a performance going on, the gunmen started to fire their guns once they entered the hall and killed 89 people there. After that, when the police arrived, 5 tourists were killed, in which 3 were killed by the police and 2 were killed by activating their suicide bells. So, these tragic events were claimed by the actions of the ISIS, which is an Islamic terrorist group, and according to the witnesses, it was believed to be the response of the terrorist group to what France did to the Muslims all around the world.
Following the event, European Union member states started to enhance the regional security in the wake of Islamic State attacks in the region. EU ministers agreed to take measures such as boosting border control. Europe was pushed to examine its border due to a concern that the Paris attacker may have taken migrant routes into Europe. Travel records. Lawmakers in EU started their debates over how to preserve, standardize, and share flight records. Particularly, all passenger database was proposed to be kept up to 5 years. Firearm law were called to be revised. In addition to that, operational police cooperation was increased at border to detect gun and explosive smuggling. Information sharing. EU ministers agreed to enhance anti-terrorism cooperation through the exchange of information using existing EU database. And lastly, terrorist financing. Ministers plan to push EU Commission to strengthen ties with each country's intelligence to help tackle terrorist financing in order to cut off the funding source for potential crimes.
Some consequences can also be seen from this terrorist act. Firstly, the Paris attack could challenge to the existing Schengen Agreement, which claimed to eliminate the border controls in Europe, because EU states now started to strictly control on the flow of migrants as well as the refugees into their respective countries. Secondly, EU unity has also increased due to the fact that some EU states now just only criticize and blame one another in regard with the flow of the refugees instead of cooperating with one another to deal with such issues. Last but not least, there is also some extreme nationalists in EU states who don't want those foreigners to enter into their nations. So they exploited that opportunity to make any rhetoric that this can lead to social disorder and demonstration at later date. We can see that EU has responded in various ways to this tragic incident. Unfortunately, terrorist attacks even provoke more and more terrorist acts in other EU states in this just recent year, such as in Barcelona, in Berlin, and in Brussels. However, this outcome of terrorist attack can provide some important lessons learned for EU to further strengthen their security and peace in the region as a whole.
Our presentation has come to an end. Taking this opportunity, we would like to express our deep condolences to people who have suffered or lost their loved ones from the aftermath of terrorism. We deeply regret that such things happen to our world citizens.